I think there are two huge challenges. One is the university as an institution has to change. Digital technology is changing the way people create knowledge, share knowledge, learn new things. And so as an institution, it has to go through this massive change process. And people are always struggling with change. And the university is an institution that's hundreds of years old. So it's very difficult to move it in a big new direction. So I think that's a major challenge for the leadership. And then the other one is the world outside the university is changing so much. So the students that are graduating from university today or in 5 years will need completely new skills and competencies compared to what they needed 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we had no smartphones, there was no Google, no Wikipedia, right? It was a completely different world. And so preparing students to be successful in a world where a large number of jobs are going to be done by robots and artificial intelligence, where everyone has access to almost all of the human knowledge at their fingertips at any time, and where a premium will be placed on things like creativity, empathy, collaboration skills. I think the university has not really done a great job at preparing people for this kind of world. So I think one pressure challenge inside the university, changing the institution, and then the other one is kind of focusing on the world outside of the institution. Within the society, it is accepted that education is a public good and that it should be supported by public funds. And so in Germany, it's the extreme. All education is free. And a few years ago, they tried to introduce very, very modest fees, and the students went on the street and protested until the universities reversed it. So higher education is free. In the US, it's the exact opposite. Higher education can easily be $10,000 a year. It can go up to, I think the fees at MIT and NYU are more like $50,000 a year. So it's very much market-driven. The universities are expected to succeed in the marketplace. They're treating their students more like customers, some of them, and so they're providing a range of services, some of which are education, but others are football teams or amazing, great cafeterias, beautiful dorms. It's funny for us Europeans, but it's true. But so then what are the different challenges for the senior leadership? In the US, you have this challenge that you have to survive. Institutions are under enormous economic pressure. MIT and Stanford, Harvard are fine, but the lower-end universities are really struggling, especially as people are starting to take more and more online courses. So they're asking, why should I go to a university that no one has ever heard of if I can take online courses that cost less money and maybe they come from a better university, etc. So in the US, it's a really difficult environment right now. And in Germany, it should be a very easy environment, but what I have been noticing is that the German universities are almost caught in the past because they have so much public funding that they're afraid to change anything in case they would lose the public funding. And so they should be much more innovative, in my opinion. They have the freedom, they have the security, but because they've always done things the same way and they've always had public funding, they have even less reason to change. So my concern is that the institutions that should have the freedom to innovate are caught in inertia, and that the institutions that are forced to innovate are driven much more by market forces than by thinking about education as a public good. So I would love to see the European universities get much more active and stronger in the global conversation about education.